free coffee every week. My name is Sean Kennedy. This is the greenhouse. This is 1 million cups. How many of you are here for the first time this week? Nice. Welcome. Well, I hope you guys enjoy it. I know the rest of you already do. You know the drill. We have 2 startups up here presenting what they're building here in Tampa Bay. And then your job is to ask them questions, give them advice, offer mentorship, connections, some things that help businesses grow here. And for that, we are eternally grateful. I am also eternally grateful to my co-organizers, Murray and Bowers. I am also grateful to Carly, hiding in the jungle back there, who is responsible for the wonderful emails you guys get every week. If you're not getting those emails, the sign-in sheet is right by Eric over there. They are 2 a week. One tells you who is coming up, the other tells you who presented in the past. And maybe most importantly, I'm grateful we find folks at Cowa Coffee who provide the coffee that allows me to stand upright every morning. Without further ado, I'd like to bring back John Hobbs, who's presented here before, and he's got an update for us and a very interesting story. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, I want to start out this meeting with 2 things. I want you to first sit there like you're an investor, or you're scouting for an investor. Or not scouting for an investor, but you're a scout for an investor. So that's what I would like you to think about why I present to you, and you ask me questions afterwards. All right? My name is John Hobbs. I've done quite a little bit. I'm about to do a little overview that I've actually used that's raised me from an angel investor $20,000 in 4 touches, just because I knew the system and knew it cold when I met him. Okay? And it's a little 5-finger overview I'm about to go through. So first, so you remember your thumb. What do you tell an investor? Well, me, I said, well, runners and walkers start becoming dehydrated in 15 minutes and do not feel the negative effect for 45 minutes. Okay, and every system on the market throws off rhythm, gait, stride, and can cause injury. So what I did is I developed a water bottle system that envelops a hand, requiring virtually no effort to hold. When you get thirsty, you hit a trigger, a valve opens in the bottle, you can then drink. The design allows them to be sold and used in pairs, so they encourage proper form and balance when you run or walk for fitness. You have weight to the bottom, flat for upper body strength, life like a stroke for safety at night. There's 83 million in my target market in the continental U.S. before we go global. And there's a huge market for it already. We plan to exit very simply by selling to a major, or for our investors, selling to a major for an IPO, because our books will be impeccable, or buy back the shares, is how we plan to exit. Other companies have successfully done that. Camelback sold for $257 million. Okay, and last year their revenues was $157 million, and 80% of that came from hydration, selling hydration material products. So, in other words, the market's huge. Companies are buying the product, and companies in our space. Okay, we have a full team in place. Our team consists of direct response commercial individual that has $6 billion under his belt, from manufacturing to credit card processing to CRM, all the way down to fulfillment. So when we get an order in, it goes right out. So we can easily make it, produce it, and get it to our end customer. Nice and simple. Now, our go-to-market strategy is very simple. We're going to market with a direct response commercial. Okay, what that will do is during our direct response commercial, our model will have our clothing line. And we'll also have, we also have electrolytes. So when they call in or come to the website, we'll do upsells and cross-sells of the weight attachments, flashlight, and strobe, also the clothing line. And then if the customer wants a discount off the whole order, we will give them a discount off the whole order if they put the electrolyte on contingency, which is a very good model. All that, those three business models are for two reasons. To get to the big online retailers like Overstock, and you can name them there, and get all to all the large and small fitness retailers from like Dick's and Sports Authority and everything like that. So all those models, the first three models are just to set up the second two, which is our, the last two, which is our really big models. Okay, and we are patented. We do have an issued patent. We're in the process of filing another patent to protect the bottles. We're the first to design a bottle that basically has a trigger valve that's used in Paris. You can add weights, flashlight, and strobe. There's quite a few other little intellectual IP protection we have with that. Okay. We have how we can definitely manage growth because all our business partners are in the revenues of tens of millions or hundreds of millions. So we have partners that very well, so we don't have an issue. Now, if you were speaking to an investor, you would ask them right here, are you interested? And if they say yes, you would follow up and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how interested are you? That question right there, when I met the investor in February, he said 9. So right then I knew I had a for sure close. The only thing I could do was mess it up. But instead I received the check. It's in my bank account now. Since then I've raised other capital. Now, and then of course there's other questions you want to lead into. But the most important thing is they say no. Here's the important thing. If they say no, what you want to do is you want to ask, is that a permanent no? Or do you want to keep, and they'll say yeah, or do you want to keep tapping into the loop? But the most important question to ask, if they say no to all that, do you know anybody that invests in consumer products? If they say yes, or invest period, if they say yes, you ask for the introduction. A friend of mine raised $11 million. Over half that $11 million came from that last question. So it's very important to do that. And that's it.
John, can we have a quick review of that? A quick review of what 5 fingers is.
Oh, well, so your thumb is basically the problem and your solution, then how you're going to exit, then can you grow and manage, then your business models, and then your can you protect it, and then the palm would be the asking the question, are you interested? So any other questions? Yes.
One of the concerns that I have is that the dishwasher safe has included.
That's a good question. Pop this off. You put it in the dishwasher. Yes.
I'm not sure if I caught how many ounces.
15, and it's very deceiving. So you start out with 30 ounces. I did the last pulse snap. I did 20 miles. I can run 14 on full set bars. So I ran 3 miles, got to my water stop, filled them all the way up, ran 14 miles because that was back to the water stop, and filled them up just as much as I needed to get home. Yes.
In addition to the money, how important was it for you to find investors that have connections to maybe retail outlets that, you know, like sporting goods or somewhere you eventually plan on seeing these on the shelf, or those other connections that interesting happen?
Well, it's important to have warm connections. So I can generate connections by the direct response commercial, but I don't want that. Warm connections are much better. Why? Because when you have a warm connection, it just opens up the door and they're more receptive. So it makes your job a lot easier with a warm connection. So I find it very important. Yes?
You made some great points. Since I didn't see your presentation before, I'm glad that you opened and showed us what it is. What type of test marketing and what is your test marketing that you've done on this product?
Okay, well, first of all, I
Or is
don't like
this
to
just
share this.
prototype?
I don't like to share this from the room, but I am. I actually launched this product before, got it to market, wrote a book about it, it published, and then crashed and burned the company. The reason why, now get this, I was selling 10% of the market that seed. Okay, if I sell 10% of the market, my company's worth over $500 million. Okay, my net was this wide. Why? I was doing trade shows and stuff like that. So the money that I was making wasn't offsetting the cost. So the test markets come back anywhere from 8 to 40% will buy at the given time. But this time we're doing it a little different. We're doing a national direct response commercial, and DBA Media Group, TBA Media Group contacted me. I did not contact them. And the deal he offered me is better than anything that all my friends that's in the industry, from Kevin Harrington to Bob Zerkowski, did not believe the deal when I showed it to them. They said, this is not real. He said, yeah, it's very real, it's in writing. But anyway, he has $6 billion under his belt. He's a marathon runner. And without the test, he knows it's going to be a good product. How do you know that about the product anyway? Does anyone know what makes a good product? The good product on the market changes the market index. Now, this is fact, I'm telling you. You can go to Shasta Ventures, you can go to Blue Ocean Strategies, but there's a list of places you can go. A product that changes the market behavior, that has benefits that you can tie to an emotional trigger, will sell. That's all you need. And mine has like 30 emotional triggers already tested and proven that we can show ties to our target market. And this goes over and over. Take any big company that started from Facebook gone, you see any product, ultimate push-up. They launched exactly what I'm doing. So that was a good question. Thank you. Yes?
When you're running, is it important to alternate drinking on bottles to maintain the balance? You wouldn't want to drain one and then have one hand heavier than the other, would you?
No, I definitely wouldn't want to drain one. I do alternate, but not regular and not exactly systematic, because an ounce or two is no big deal. Both of your arms are more than an ounce difference. But if you carry something in one hand, you actually tighten muscles all the way into your shoulder, which then throws off your rhythm, gait, and stride, which causes, over a period of time, causes repetitive injury. Yes?
How long have you been operating in the way you're in yourself?
Okay, we're not in sales yet. I'm raising capital. I've raised, in the bank right this second, I have $90,000, and I have $40,000 more committed. And then I have a couple angels already at half my deck into my plan. So I should be getting answers this week. Plus I have the Economic Development Center possibly matching my funds that I have in the bank. And we'll know that answer this week too. So then we'll be launching 12 weeks, because we're ready, we're engineered ready. So it'll be 12 weeks from the time we have money to the time we're doing the direct response commercial, 5,000 commercials a month for about 3 months before we decide exactly how it will go. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for sharing and coming back and doing an update. And I feel like maybe this model has worked for you, but there's a couple things I just want to share that I don't think we can see about the model. And maybe it's not just because a lot of consumer products, but I didn't see in there, because a lot of times I've got a problem and here's a solution to it. But where's the phase where I went out and bootstrapped and tried this on my own, and like everybody wants, I've gone out know, my reaction is not, who else do you know, like, well, why, right? There's not the whole, so I think that the whole vetting of like, where are the steps in there that really vet the idea more to see that people are willing to pay for it, people have paid for it, to be able to do this much with your investment, like, I can get to that other level, and if you're not interested, what is it about this opportunity investment that you don't like about it, so you can either refine your pitch or maybe identify the cost that like isn't the thing I should be doing.
All right, that's a very good question. I'm going to address those two separate questions, especially. First of all, my friend that raised 11 million, it was vital that he asked me, and I didn't show the last slide, but he asked like he was a robot, if they didn't want to be kept in the loop. Because a no in the sales process necessarily is not a no. If they want to be kept in the loop, they're still interested. Okay, and then who else do you know just because they're not interested? Say, I'm speaking to someone that invests just in say, SAAS. Okay, if I'm talking to someone like that and they say no, am I going to pay that person? No, I'm not even in their area. So it's not an issue, okay? Now, as far about selling product, I sold 2,200 sets before. And my net did big. I was going to local trade shows. I went to some, I've been in catalogs. But the thing is, the demonstrable product needs to be demonstrated. And unless it's demonstrated right and presented in the right way, people will make assumptions. The first assumption about this is it's a weight, okay? If you see two at one time. That's why I showed one water bottle first, to get people thinking water bottle. But now, if someone says weight, I don't like weights, this gets lighter as you go along. So, yeah, we have vetted the product. It is wanted. It's also been tested with professional athletes. I have Olympic gold medalists that love my product. I have championship weightlifters, that marathon runners that want my product. And then again, Jeff Goddard of PBA Media Group contacted me, which is a marathon runner, and he contacted me, why? To do a deal because he understands what the product will do and how to get to the end customer emotional trigger to buy. And yes, but going large and as opposed to scaling out, that's one way to do it. And that's, especially in the tech industry, is the way it should be done because you have a lot of bugs to work out. In the consumer product industry, not so much. I already have all the fixes.
I guess just one follow-up, like, Prem did the Cruise sandals and then he was trying to raise money for yoga mats. There's another presenter a couple weeks back, and he said, I think that we've done the sandals, I think the yoga mats are the next thing that are out there. So he created a Kickstarter, and said if I don't meet that goal, then there's not the marketing plan for it, and I don't proceed. So I'm not saying Kickstarter is necessary in every case, because you obviously have a lot of people that are, saying that they want this and they're very interested, but if you don't do that, I'm curious, how do you demonstrate that there's a demand these days to have a consumer product, new idea, if you don't move that route?
Well, first of all, it's already been proven Kickstarter and Indiegogo are not a platform for customer demand, whether it's selling. That's statistical. You can go to Angel Group and they have that data there. So, I'm sorry, exactly what was the question?
Well, I'm just asking, in today's age where somebody can prototype something, somebody can prototype an idea on a 3D printer, throw it up in the market and see if there's demand for it and vet an idea. If you don't go that route, what are the other ways that you're able to demonstrate? Because if I'm going to potentially invest in this, say, how many did you sell on Amazon so far, or how many pre-orders did you take, or what are the other ways that you're able to demonstrate to potential investors that there isn't just people who say, I want this product, they need it, it would make my life better, but how do you demonstrate to those investors that, like, a tangible form of demand?
All right, well, I can show Camelback of the 157 million they did last year. And everyone has the same product, by the way. Everyone on the market can sell the same product, with the exception of there's one risk product that everyone can't sell, and there's one package that go up here that everyone can't sell. Other than that, every product on the market, oh, and there's one that goes around the neck that everyone can't sell. Those are the three protected. Everything else you see, from the handheld to the backpacks to the belt types, there may be some little quirks that people can't copy, but everyone can do those. Now, everyone doing those are doing them from, like, for example, Nathan Sports, they did 23 million last year, okay? They are listed in Forbes 5,000 fastest growing private companies. And they're selling the same products as everyone else. I'll be able to sell those, but will I? No. I mean, I might, because what we'll do is every sale we get, because we'll generate it, it takes a package and something else. It takes a minimum of 6 touch points for a new idea. For the first adopters, which are the first adopters, are usually 2.5% of the market. Okay, so it takes 6 touch points for most people to start buying, and then there's a full scale, and this is all worked out. But then you from the 6 point to like 12%, meaning from 2.5% to like 12%. That's a different scale, and it takes a little bit more. So it takes more viewing, and it takes them seeing other people using it to get market the market to take your product.
Do you mind passing them around?
I will. Anyone that wants them, because the triggers are prototype, and actually we slightly change them, and they'll break. And plus the weight's a prototype, although it's engineered out. Right now they're expensive. Pretty soon they'll be cheap. But anyone that wants to meet with me, I'll put them in your hand. That's not an issue. But other than that, I won't pass them around. Plus, it's my photo. This is my photo. It's no scratches. Yes.
You mentioned it's expensive to produce these prototypes. What is your target price for the product itself?
It's $5 landed, that's box ready to ship. Okay, and then we have also the landed on the weights are going to run about $1 each landed. And that's for a single, not for a pair, and that's not boxed yet. So we haven't received that price. Yes.
What are the weights with how much?
The weights weigh actually 15 ounces, which is what the bottle holds. So when you put the weights on, it's exactly what the bottle weighs when it's full, if the bottle's empty. With except the only difference is the weight's not distributed around the hand.
Do you have heavier ones? Because when I run, I use a 3-pounder.
Oh, you can stack them.
So you can stack.
You can stack. They slide on just like so. If you use weights and want the flashlight to strobe, you'll be able to stack it right on the bottom. So if you're running at night.
Have you thought about making a single weight super heavier so you don't have a bunch of stacks?
Well,
Could you do
at
that
first,
too?
yeah, we can do that. Now, all that, everything, what we have is a minimal viable product. We have a lot of changes that we're going to do, and as it evolves and grows. But that's a very good question. Any other questions?
So how can we help you grow this product?
Well, right now, I have about $90,000 in the bank. I have 2 investors that are already 100% confirmed, and when I know they're confirmed, they are my friends, but they're also angels, and they're just waiting on a close of the house. And as soon as I get that, I have their money. Okay, but how you can help me if you know any investors. My rate of closing investors that is a real investor, when I sit down with them and they see all the numbers, is very high. I'm at 70%. So if anyone knows an angel investor, I would very much like an introduction, a warm introduction. But that's what I'd like from the president. Thank you.
Real quick first, has anyone lost an earring? We just found this up front. Does this look like anyone? There we go. Very good. All Well, again, thank you all for coming this morning. So up here we've got some other startup-focused events that are happening. Geek-In is something that happens starting tomorrow. There is a geek breakfast at Jimbo's Barbecue in Tampa. Then Friday night they do pitches. So if you have any pitches you want to refine or hear from other startups, that's at the Wave on Friday night. And then Saturday they actually go to the beach in St. Pete and hang out. Just close laptops and a lot of startups and other technical entrepreneurs are a lot of those who attend. Generally get 15 to 30 people depending on the week. So you can find information on that on Eventbrite, or it'll be in our email later this week. Then you have Startup Surge, which is going to be at Tampa Bay Wave. It's a full day event of all different types of workshops. There's about 20 different mentors that you can talk to from all different facets of the startup world. So that, I believe, the tickets are $20 and they sell out every single year. So if you have interest, I'd go ahead and check that out now. You have Product Hunt Tampa Bay, which is at the Hive, which is in the John F. Jay Library in downtown Tampa. It's anything and everything product focused. It's mainly technology, but there's also people there outside of technologies that have physical products to sell as well. So it's a full day free event. Again, that information's on Eventbrite. And then you also have coming up the Ice House Entrepreneurship Program, which is here, and that Sean, Pinellas Technical College. So Sean or Carly can give you any information on that. So up next, we have an update from Roseanne with Pad Go Round. So please give her a warm round of applause.
Good morning, my name is Roseanne Clementi and I'm the developer of the Pad Go Round. It is the patented Pad Go Round. I presented before, this will be my third time, so hopefully it'll be a charm. I'm going to keep it kind of brief because I want to give you an update, but what the Pad Go Round does is put in handles, 2 to 4 handles. So the iPad has 2 on them. I have 4 on the iPad mini. The product was not developed for Apple products. It was actually developed for a Kindle. And if you look at my file folder in my computer, it says Kindle folder. But as it turns out, my Kindle is somewhere else right now. It puts 2 to 4 handles. It sits on a base that has legs that elevates the tablet off the table in case you spill something while you're working. There's a loops on the corner so that you can hang your tablet from your neck, keeping your hands free. And also on the back, which is a really unique feature, is a 1/4-20 insert, which is a universal insert on the back or the bottom of all your cameras, which allows you to put this device on anything that was developed and marketed for cameras. Right now I have it on a little tabletop tripod. It makes it easy to take it to the kitchen. If you want your hands free, you're sitting at the table, anywhere. You can put a wireless keyboard in front of this if you're a keyboarder like I am. I wasn't born and raised on using the electronic keys on tablets. The other products on the market, why did I do this? I have arthritis in my hands, and it's very difficult to open tablets for long periods of time. They're not ergonomic. Apple and the other manufacturers have gone to a lot of trouble to make the tablets accessible to people with disabilities for sight and hearing, but nobody that I know of has really worked at making the tablet accessible for people with disabilities or people with limited use of their hands or people with small hands. So one of the, pretty much my only competitors, the Tab Grip, and the last time I was here somebody said, had you bought one, did you know what your competitor was like? And I said, no, I don't. So I did buy one, and it's only been developed for the iPad, okay? And my product will hold pretty much all tablets on the market. I can't say that it blocked, what we usually say is it doesn't block the lens or the speakers or the earphone jack on most of the tablets. We've discovered that some of the camera lenses do get blocked, but that's something we can fix pretty much later. There's so many uses that, even though I developed it for people that have trouble with their hands, limited use, or just fatigue, I've discovered so many other people now have become excited about using the product. I have a track coach who is excited about using it to video his athletes. I was excited to take pictures on my job in the swamp. And you can see that if there's healthcare industry now is booming with use of electronic tablets. My brother has a dialysis and they're doing surveys once a month for patients who are visiting, and he discovered right away that while they're doing dialysis, they're having a hard time holding the tablet. So hopefully a market will open up for me with the 2,800 clinics that my brother is involved with. Take it into the kitchen and use it to read a recipe. Customization, I can customize the colors. I will soon, change the handles to accommodate larger, like the OtterBox, so that you can leave your tablet in the OtterBox. But for what I've learned is that you customize your use. Do you want 2 handles? You'll get 2 handles. If you want 4 handles, you'll get 4 handles. If you don't want any handles and you just want clamps, well, that's your choice. You decide. You determine how is it that you want to use the product. Where am I? What have we been doing? I've just launched a Kickstarter campaign. I'm looking for angels with little wings. I'm trying to go out and find common people. We started off really well. It's sputtered a little bit right now. It's slowed down. And we can talk about Kickstarter and questions and answers. I've signed a manufacturing agreement with Inventors Launchpad. So I am moving forward. I'm not stopping and waiting for Kickstarter. We're trying to refine the design of the product to make the molds now so that the molds will be efficient. So they're working on a little bit of that. Social media campaign. I've never tweeted so much in my life. I've never been on Facebook so much in my life. I'm rebuilding my website because it was a rudimentary thing that my dear business mentor, JJ Roberts, helped me create. My team just created a LinkedIn page for me. I have my own YouTube page, Pat Go Around. On June 4th, I'll be interviewed on AM 1250 with Jamie Maloney about the product, so hopefully you'll tune in or tell your friends and family to tune in at 8 o'clock on June 4th. And then on the 5th and 6th, I'm going with my colleague Stuart Bannock to the Family Cafe event in Orlando, which I'd never heard about. And it's an eye-opening experience launching a new product. So I wanted to quickly or briefly, can you start the video? Just show you, I encountered this gentleman at the St. Anthony's Triathlon, and I was able to film this testimony. And hopefully it'll come quickly, so
I don't have a good grip on my hand, so a little tackle like this has really been intimidating because, I'm always concerned I'm going to drop it or something like that, but to have this little gauge harness on it, I can really use either one of my hands that don't even really work. So, keeps it comfortable for me. And I have a niece that has muscular dystrophy, and she's got some hand function issues too, that I know this will help her too, so I think we can get my hands on a couple of these.
thank you. So why am I pursuing this? Why am I, it seems like most of the time I'm beating my head against the wall. It's for people like that. That was an absolute incredible encounter. I never envisioned that I would run into him at the St. Anthony's Triathlon. But he apparently does races in his wheelchair. And he came to witness the event and to see what the products were at the expo. So it was a blessing for me. It was a blessing to encounter that gentleman. And so with that, I want to thank you for allowing me to come and present. Yes, sir.
I see you tapped on the medical field,
Yes.
and I've seen a lot of computer keyboards recently that are like sterile, they're sealed. I think you could have a lot of potential sealing thing or reducing the amount of crevices because then they can be cleaned very easily.
It'll be made out of really strong ABS plastic, and I'm assuming that it can be cleaned well. They're talking about dipping the handles in a vinyl, a rubberized vinyl product that will help. My brother said that basically they'll clean the handles and they have to clean the face of the tablets. They have to sanitize them every time. So I don't think there's too much concern. I think we should be able to sanitize it, but that's something, again, for us to think about. I don't know that I can seal this up.
Stick it in the dishwasher?
Absolutely. Yes, you could. You could stick it in the dishwasher.
Without the pad.
Yeah. I have to tell you this, my
doesn't stand up correctly, it's actually like 50 bucks, I hate it. I'd much rather have something like that.
Well, thank you. And the other thing too is that, just real quick, somebody said to me, well, you don't want children with lanyards around their necks, it's a choking hazard. Well, they make the lanyards now so that they're a quick break, so that if they get caught on something, and you really have to pull apart, but if they get caught on something, they will release. So I will make sure that when I do, I'm sorry, he was.
Yeah, so the handles, do the handles come off or you have to buy the product with?
No, the product will come with 2 handles and 2 clamps, just like the iPad. They're all adjustable, okay? So they slide, there's a thumb nut here, and there's a, you can't see it, and unfortunately I don't have all of my equipment that I can demonstrate. It's being filmed somewhere. But there's a clamp, a retaining plate that holds the clamps and the handles in, and you just tighten it down. So it's adjustable. So it does anything that's 9.9 inches, the kind of the size of the iPad, or a little smaller, will fit in the large one. And then anything around the size of the Kindle and the iPad mini. So the Nexus, the Nook would fit in here. So the handles are adjustable.
Yeah, and I was saying, as far as the handle count, so all of them do come with 2 for each one, 4.
Then you'll buy 2 extra handles, so that if you want to go to the options, the one at some point you want just 4 clamps and no handles, then you can buy an extra set of clamps. With the clamp, with the handle not being on the top, at least the ear jack opens, so you can put a square in there and do point of sale. So I've discovered that industry is opening up for me, and I have somebody who's marketing it with their point of sale system, and he's got clients who want to buy it. Yes.
You mentioned customization and things like that. Have you thought about selling it online, like Mini does, where you can customize it with your own color, your own design, your own handle count?
Absolutely. In the future, yes, it's going to be cheaper to come out with one color scheme at first. But yes, I look forward to going after the college market, because I know that anybody will buy, people will buy anything in their school colors. So even if they don't even, I know that they don't even want it, put your school lanyard on it, you know, with their school colors, yes. Yeah, in the future, I hope to be able to put out the colors of companies, you know, large companies might want their colors, and it'd be fun to do that for them.
Great job. May I recommend that you go and buy a real pad from AARP? They sold 70,000 the last quarter of last year.
Did it?
Yeah, put the real pad in there and let's start taking pictures and tweeting it.
All right, I went to Walmart to buy it, apparently they're only selling it online.
Well, there are some still.
Okay, I will get one right away then.
Right, and then we'll start tweeting it.
Okay. Yes.
It's more likely to break or less likely to work as a kind of like case for the pad itself.
No, I'm not marketing it as the safety device if you actually do drop it, but the safety device is this.
Yeah.
So it will not fall any farther than the length of your lanyard.
No.
So that's the safety device. But if you don't happen to have, the prototype materials break easily. That as wonderful as 3D printing is, it's such a miracle for those of us at this layer, this level of entrepreneurship. The handles are brittle. So for the iPad mostly, I've had these handles on the Mini and the Kindle for a long time, and I haven't broken any, but the weight of the iPad, anyway, the safety feature is being able to put in your lanyard on it. Yes.
Does AARP have some sort of preferred product or something like that, so that there's a way to get that?
Absolutely, that's what we're working on.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned it works on Nook, you mentioned it works on Kindle. There's a perception though with the company name Paddle-O-Round that it's exclusive to iPad. I'm an Android girl, will always be an Android girl, and my terminology is tablet. So do you think you're missing the market by calling it Paddle-O-Round?
The problem with tab was that there were several things already patented with the word tab. There is a perception why I chose pad go round, which just came out of my head because I wanted to name this tab go round 360, because you can turn it 360. But they already have the trademark for tab grip, and anything with tab grab or tab grip was already denied. So for some reason, I'm hoping that there won't be that perception, because I really originally marketed or started developing it for the Kindle. So there are a lot of iPad products, but I'm trying very desperately to make sure that people realize that it's just not an Apple designed product.
Tell me about the connector on the back as far as, I see it's on a small one on the top there. Would you put it on a tall one?
Oh, you can put it on anything.
Yes, for a friend. Reading in bed, I fall asleep and drop an iPad on my nose. And that's painful.
I'm playing with this, so I need to set it down. I have a picture on, what happened to it? How do we get back to it? And I might have taken it out. I put it on a tabletop tripod, and a larger one. I bought a larger tabletop tripod, bigger than this, and I put it in bed between my partner and I, and we were able to watch a video together. Yes, you can put it on a little bit larger tripod. There are also gooseneck devices that you can buy, that there are all kinds of products. I don't have them. I normally travel with what I call my toys to show you all of the accessories that are available to screw in the back. And one of them is a gooseneck that has a clamp on it, and I used it to put on my mother's wheelchair. You can see right there that has a gooseneck attached to the arm of her. So there are all kinds of products you can buy. So it's thank goodness that the camera manufacturers decided they would all put the same threaded insert at the bottom of the cameras, because even GoPro, if you find a GoPro attachment, you can make it work with the Q20, because there are third-party products out there that then convert the GoPro proprietary attachment into a Q20. And the Q20 is the thread here. That's the stem on all these products is a Q20. Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming back and doing an update. This is a great kind of update where, you presented before, here's my idea, here's my initial prototype, and now you've got a polished logo, social media, website, and all that. So I said thank you for coming back and doing that. Just to address the Apple Android idea, I notice a lot of accessory vendors will just show the Apple and the Android logo right next to their own logo whenever they display it, in the corner. But all your presentations or that page removes that bias. But my real question is, you're halfway through the year, you've come a long way since you last presented. What are some of your concrete goals between now and the next 6 months, between now and the end of the year? And is there anything, very specifically that, this isn't a final question, but
Right, yes.
that we can do to help you, in the next 6 months of where, what can we do?
Right now, I want to get through this Kickstarter campaign and be successful. My goal is $22,000 just to make the molds. That's not the cost of all. I mean, I've got lots of money already in my product, but my goal is to get the manufactured items in my hand. So we're proceeding. I'm not waiting. I'm working with my team to tweak the design so we can get these molds made. I want to be able to start. I hit the wall with, yeah, it's neat and wonderful, but I couldn't give anybody a really good, sturdy product to take home with them or to take to school. I've got people at Berkeley, not Berkeley, Tampa Prep, say they want them there for their kids. My brother's got 2,800 clinics. I've got to get the real product in my hands. So my goal is before, and hopefully by the fall, that I'll actually have 1,000 units out of China in my hand, so that I can start.
So that's for the mold, that fundraising is for the mold and to produce the first 1,000 units?
No, it's just to pay for the mold. So I'm going to eat, and hopefully that through that, from our mouths to God's ears, that I'll get more than my goal.
Right.
But it's mainly just to pay for the molds, because that is the biggest part of the expense, is to pay for molds. It's not people. It's an eye-opening experience to understand what it takes and how much it costs to make a mold for something that looks so simple.
2 questions. One, what do I get if I donate to your Kickstarter?
Oh, there's lots of rewards there. You can actually donate one period without even receiving it. I just discovered a charity online called Fight My Apple that donates Apple iPads, minis, to children in cancer units. I just discovered them last night, so of the pads or the pad arounds that I do distribute through this Kickstarter campaign will go to a charity, and I decided last night it would be Buy My Apple. So you can get one, you can donate one and not get one, you can get one, you can get two, you can get, there are different levels of participation for the different size. You can go up a level, you can get the small one with a lanyard, now customized with a pad around on it. You can get two of them, and then I've had friends just donate. Just to, the first donation is $10 or more. I had several friends just donate and not even, want a reward.
And then, secondly, you mentioned a lot of opportunities that are coming up for bulk orders at school. Would any of them give you a purchase order so that you could perhaps get lending on that purchase order?
Yes, as soon as I can get a product that my brother can show to me, and he's got one of my prototypes, and at the end of the month, hopefully he'll start actually using it steadily every day. As soon as that's done, he said he'll get a purchase order for me for 2,800 of them, because they're only doing one in each clinic. Yes.
Two things. One, on this issue about the handle, especially when you're talking about medical, because I think that would be really great in the clinic. There are the nano surfaces that are sort of germ-free.
Right, okay.
The other thing is, and maybe I missed this, is this patented?
Yes, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, on March 24th, I was issued the utility patent.
You might want to think about the VA.
Oh, I have.
You have?
I have, and I've tried, So I want to have the product in my hand. It's enough is enough about, it's neat and wonderful. Even if I, for, whatever it costs me to leave one with them, I would do it, yes.
Another institutional concern that I think of is companies or engineers on manufacturing floor as a good target market.
Right.
The other question I have for you is for the non-institutional consumer, just the average Joe Schmo. From my perspective, the reason you buy a tablet is that it's easy to throw in a bag or something like that. And I'm concerned about the size of the handle. Is that something that's going to be problematic?
Well,
Is there a way to fold it up or something?
it was problematic, so the first thing I did was I went to Best Buy and had to buy this thing, which costs more than my pack around. So my pack around, my iPad mini and Kindle fit in here with the handles on. I don't have to take the handles off. When I carry the large one around, I put it in my computer bag that I carry my computer in. It's going to be easy to take them off if you just want to take them off and store it separately. If you don't want to take them off, it's just a matter of, a lot of people have large computer bags. So it's a matter of putting it in your computer bag, along maybe with your computer. I've had my computer and the iPad in here together.
But I guess to me, as opposed to getting a laptop, which I would buy a bag for,
Right.
I have a tablet, it's easy to shove
Or
it
your
in.
purse.
So can you give us a quick demo of how long it takes to get those off?
Well, I remember this is prototype material, so,
Okay.
how quick is it to take it off?
Okay.
So it's very quick. Putting it back on, I would need to be a little bit more comfortable. The small one weighs about 7.3 ounces, and this prototype material, the large one weighs about 8.3. So it doesn't really add weight. It's the tablet itself is the weight. And again, to demonstrate, this is just not ergonomic. It's not. It hurts my hands to hold it, and you change the page. Your finger always changes the page when you don't want to. So what I need from the community, are we at that point, or no? No, not. It's not moving.
Time for more questions.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes.
There's a few examples of business to business, ways of selling it. One of the things I love the most about it is that you can put any attachment that you would a tripod or anything like that. And I think that's really awesome, especially for people actually doing trade shows. So usually we'll bring out an entire monitor, hook it up, and then run 4 pictures throughout the thing. It'd be even better if you can have it standing up, pick it up, be able to show, demonstrate any technology or whatever, and set it back down on the table and have it.
The beauty of some of the tripods now is there's a quick release so that you can attach the threaded portion and take take it off the tripod and walk around with it. And if you wanted to go back and set it back up on the tripod, you just stick it back in your release or whatever, right there. Yeah, it was, I can't claim the genius of the quarter 20, in fact, that was my designer, but it has opened up the versatility of this device so that you don't need 2 or 3 different kinds of holders. I mean, you don't need a stand in the kitchen and then something that might put handles on it, which is another device, or something that you might be able to put on a tripod. There's all kinds of stands and mounts that are proprietary that are already hooked up to their own gooseneck or hooked up to their own tripod, and you're stuck there. That's it. You can't take it out. You can't then take it, pick it up, and hold it, and lay in bed and read. I had such a great time. I had never downloaded a children's book on any of my tablets, and I downloaded a couple of them. They're really cheap, 99 cents. I read, my grandson held one handle and I held the other, and we read a book, and then he changed the page because we know they're going to do that at 3 already. Even the 18-month-old knows how to get into my phone and into my tablet. So you can share it. It's not just your handle. It can be somebody else's handle who's sitting on your lap too. So yeah.
You mentioned you know Stuart, so I'm assuming he already has mounted one of these on his wheelchair.
No, we talked. JJ, I know, JJ was trying to convince him that we needed to kind of hook our products up.
Absolutely.
I think at the next stage, perhaps we could get to that point. He's just trying to get his prototype done and get it to market. But we are teaming up and going to that family cafe event together, sharing the table with them. I heard about that from him. I had never heard of it. So, and then I've displayed or exhibited at the Maker Fair in Orlando, and they're doing another one this year. There was a MakerCon at the fairgrounds I went to. I've got teachers, every time a teacher comes up, I've got teachers excited about it because they have to carry them around. And one of the teachers said something about she has to do is scan the room with her iPad. I have no idea, she called it Flickr. I have no idea what that is. But I guess she has to take a video of the class every once in a while. And she said it was perfect. It gave her handles so she could do this. I don't know. It was all great to me, but I've got teachers really excited. So that's why I want the product in my hand, so I could go to a couple of boards. When I was at the triathlon, a police officer came up. I had mounted the Kindle on my handlebar of my bicycle, just to show that there's another attachment. There are quarter 20 attachments made for your handlebars of your bicycles. And one person said, well, I don't want people texting while they're bike riding. I'm not texting while they're driving either, but somebody made it for the handlebar. And a police officer came up, so we need that because they have bicycle police officers who have to now, they're going to tablets in the city of St. Pete. And he happened to be one of the Marine officers, and he said, because I had a suction cup mount there with me, so I could suction cup my iPad to the windshield of the boat. So there's all kinds of things. There are a lot of avenues open for me. I just can't wait to get the product in my hand, to go and go after those markets. Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's coming to competition for it. The federal government has a program, CAT, computer assisted technology.
Okay, yes.
They actually buy products to give to federal employees who have disabilities to have in their homes.
Right.
And if you're interested, I could help you to hook up with.
That would be
We have
great.
a product under review.
That would be great.
So, how can the community help you run this business?
The community can help me reach my goal on my Kickstarter campaign. You don't have to contribute a lot, but the main thing is to tell everyone you know and everyone they know and everyone they know to go to Kickstarter and look up Padded Around and be a contributor and share. It's not, Kickstarter is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. We could do a little workshop on that later. But it's not build it and they will come. It's not put it on there and they will flock to it. It's not that easy, but please be an angel, all you sweet, wonderful people, and be a contributor and tell everyone else. Thank you.
Two things strike me. One is, again, my name is Richard Wood.
I have the uniqueness where I'm here, but I'm also in Kansas City. And it's not that I'm connected to it or some big deal with it, but I'm only 3 miles from the mothership of this 1 million cups, okay? So what strikes me is, first of all, let's give another round of applause to the two people. Two sets of thoughts. And, the first set is from there, which is 3 years old plus, and from here, which we're now 1.5-year-olds plus. It's really interesting to see the presenters come back. I mean, it was mentioned earlier, but to see the little pivots or the big learnings or the extraordinary stuff, this certainly is not an easy go. It's not a straight line. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so I think it gives us a lot of encouragement to keep going, to keep going on it. The second thing is, just from chatting around, especially in the summer, two things. One, up in Kansas City, they've really cranked up toward education because, quite honestly, professionally speaking, it sucks in Kansas City, the public schools. So what they're doing is they're taking 1 million cups, they're taking all kinds of innovations, and then applying it toward education. So I'd highly encourage educators, friends that you know that are in education, have them come during the summer because we know that education needs innovation. And what better way to get the mind going, get these things going on top of education. And also the nonprofit world. We have some people in here today that I've chatted with that are not-for-profit, and they're also educators. So I really encourage, and as we keep going and talking to the community, let's get more and more people interested in coming and attending and really getting things going. So thank you very much.